After service, I will think of it.
To me. Now it's like all I can think about. I'm gonna try to figure that out. That's okay.
Oh no.
We can look back too.
Yeah.
I know who stands before me. I know who stands behind me. The God of angel armies. Huh?
I think it's the redeemed or amazed or how amazed. Amazed. Oh, we sang it last week.
She wasn't here last week.
Redeemed, you set me free.
Yeah, it's a good Easter one for sure.
Yeah.
Where's the angels?
One of the verses, I think.
Draw me close to you. Draw me close to you.
Oh, am I supposed to do this?
If you want, I'll do the.
I
I
didn't know
think
you
if
could do
want, I can do whatever you want.
Draw me close to you.
Draw me close to you.
Never let me go.
Let me go.
Never done this before.
You are my desire. No one else will do.
Yes.
Must still just be time for a new guitar.
Start with your E again. He's not in.
Go to the next one. We can make it the first song. I can take it tune it after this. Technical difficulties.
Got a mercy full of grace. Oh, you are? Okay. Go ahead. All right, go ahead and read it.
Okay.
I am so excited to be here. I'm glad you're all here. I hope you're excited to be here as well.
Oh, we still have to switch the PowerPoint mic. Okay, we're gonna wait.
We're gonna sing this song.
It's not up there. They don't have anything. It's not
Oh,
switched.
bummer.
That's the problem. Well, good evening anyway. I do not know how to switch it actually.
Over.
There we go. Okay. Well, good evening. Welcome to Parma Christian Fellowship Church. We're going to get started here.
Nice job. Thank you.
Thank you. She's in college.
Yeah.
She learned this stuff. All right. Our call to worship this evening, it's evening time. I think we've all had long days today. Do you have it up there, Pam? Just, keep clicking until you get to God's invitation. Next one. There we go. It comes from 2 Kings 17. But the Lord who rescued you with mighty power and outstretched arm is the one you must worship. To him you shall bow down. Worship the Lord your God. It is he who will deliver you from the hand of all your enemies.
Forever, always forever. Slow to anger, rich in love. You are forever, always forever. Hear your kingdom shout and all your praise ring. So let the heavens roar, echo across the ground. And as your people sing of your majesty, sound. Lord, hear the sound. God of mercy, full of grace, you are forever, always forever. Slow to anger, rich in love, you are forever, always forever. To hear your kingdom shout and all your praises ring. So let the heavens roar and go across the ground. And as the people sing of your majesty, Lord, hear the sound.
So let the heavens roar
And go across the ground. And as your people sing of your majesty, Lord, hear the sound. Lord, hear the sound. Everyone, 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 you forgive, you forgive. Everyone, you restore, you restore. Everyone, you redeem, you redeem. Everyone, you forgive, you forgive. Everyone, you restore, you restore. Everyone, you redeem, you redeem. Everyone, so let the heavens roar and go across the ground. Lord, hear the sound. So let the heavens roar and go across the ground. And as your people sing on your majesty, Lord, hear the sound. Lord, hear the sound.
Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight to worship you from all of our pursuits, the places we have gone, some of what has happened to us in the last day or few days we did not ever imagine could happen. Others have been planned for and executed exactly as we dreamed. We come from all of those places together. But where our journey started is not as important as where it ends. And it ends at your feet. We come from all these various places and all of our different walks to the very same place before your holy throne to worship and honor you. To let you fill our lives, which without you are empty. And to find life in the name of Jesus. Pray in his holy name. Hopefully I won't pull the entire soundstage with me as I come. Thanks. We left Florida yesterday, half an hour late. We went through the middle part of Florida instead of trying to bypass Daytona, which is the Daytona race, and there are about 250,000 extra cars, not just people, cars, flooding the highway. So we decided we would be smart and drive through Central Florida in order to avoid all of that with all of the Central Florida drivers who might be watching tonight, and I love you all. And it took us more than an hour to get through Florida than we had planned. And we got all the way to North Carolina, and the traffic on the expressway was completely stopped. Parking lot stopped, absolutely at a standstill. So I called 511, which is the information for traffic. And they had an update of an accident 2 miles ahead of us, no exits in between, that happened earlier in the evening. The road would not be open until 11:30. It was 7. So we sat there for 55 minutes, parking lot, and finally it began to creep forward. We got to the next exit. Actually, there was one in between. All the traffic was going off there, but the traffic ahead oddly seemed to be moving. So, against 511's better judgment, we didn't get off and get on some little side road. We actually stayed on the expressway, and at the mile marker, they said there was an accident. There was nothing. No debris, no broken glass, no emergency vehicles, nothing. They said it wouldn't be open until 11:30. So at that mile marker, there was absolutely nothing. We sat for an hour, lost another hour. We drove as long as we could till we were nearly exhausted, stopped in Beckley, 2.5 hours short of where we wanted to go. We got up this morning, got everything. Everything worked perfectly. There's a verse in the Bible, Romans 8:28. God causes all things to work together for good. This afternoon, my copier worked, my printer worked, my car worked all the way here. So I'm quoting that verse as, God causes all things to work, period. On occasion, some of you, I realize, at times, do not want to be in church. And you just stay home or go somewhere else. But on occasion, even when you don't want to come, you still come. I am one of those people tonight. I would rather be doing anything than trying to fit. I like 2 hours of preparation time. I have about 25 minutes. And then we're trying to tune our, I put new strings on before I left so I wouldn't have to do it today. They're all out of tune and they won't go into tune. We have announcements. Don't worry about those. All stuff that's coming up. It's in the bulletin. Pick up a bulletin. One of the things we're trying to do is we're talking about how we're going to utilize the time we have available in our worship services creatively and productively. On Saturday night, we do not take a pass-the-plate offering. We don't stand up and sing an or sing an offering song, stand up and sing doxology. We do that on Sunday morning. On Saturday night, we always include time to share our requests and to pray together. On Sunday morning, we run out of time every single week. So one of the things we're thinking about is dropping our announcements time and dropping offering on Sunday morning so that we can actually have time to pray. And we'll figure out how to do those other things in creative ways. We're not really sure how it's going to work out. We have a lot to think through. But we want to be able to have our services be actually focused on what matters instead of just busy work to get it done. This week, by way of an announcement which I didn't make up there, Allen and I have 3 very important meetings with financial institutions about our business plan, which is pulled together. That we're going to ask the lending institutions what form and what style they want. We've already written to an organization that gives grants and to see if they would be able to help us in this process. The wraparound daycare and the nursery school program will generate enough base income for us to be able to get a loan this spring. In the last 2 years, banks have not been lending, and the institutions that I've spoken with are all finding that they have resources to lend. So we are positioning ourselves for the best possible step forward. We have 3 meetings, one on Monday, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, and we're going to be pursuing what we can do. We'll have, if we have an open door, we will call a meeting of our church and decide how we want to proceed forward, but these are days to pray. And so our announcement tonight especially be focused on prayer. If we can get a loan, we will work at selecting our general contractor and building this spring, and only God knows what's going to happen. So keep it much, much, much in prayer. Ed and I will be having the initial meetings, and then from there the leadership team will be working. Psalm 86 is our Old Testament reading tonight. Psalm 86, verses 1 through 13. Hear, O Lord, and answer me, for I am poor and needy. Guard my life, for I am devoted to you. You are my God. Save your servant who trusts in you. Have mercy on me, O Lord. For I call to you all day long. Bring joy to your servant, for to you, O Lord, I lift up my soul. You are forgiving and good, O Lord, abounding in love to all who call to you. Hear my prayer, O Lord, and listen to my cry for mercy. In the day of my trouble I will call to you, for you will answer me. Among the gods there is none like you, O Lord. No deeds can compare with yours. All the nations you have made will come and worship before you, O Lord. They will bring glory to your name, for you are great and do marvelous deeds. You alone are God. Teach me your way, O Lord, and I will walk in your truth. Give me an undivided heart that I may fear your name. I will praise you, O Lord my God, with all my heart. I will glorify your name forever. For great is your love toward me. You have delivered me from the depths of the grave. Tonight I'm beginning a short 6-part series that leads from now up until Easter. This is the season called Lent. I didn't look up yet. I will. Why it's called Lent. I don't think we borrow things. I think it's an ancient Latin word that has to do with this time of preparation. And we often at Easter time celebrate the huge stories, the great people, the heroes of the faith, even when they cause problems and falter a little bit. We know they end up being great. And so we focus on those. The clergy of Hilton all meet together here at the Methodist Church on Wednesdays for a lunch. And different pastors are sharing on a series of obscure people. They call the series The Quiet People. I looked at that list and there were some of them that just didn't seem to fit with me. I went through the book of Matthew and I found 6 individuals who are really in the background of the story of the preparation for Good Friday and Easter Sunday. And I picked those 6 individuals and we're going to look at them. I'm not going to give you the whole series up front. Get the bulletin or follow through the devotions each week. And the 6th and 7th readings of each week will be the scripture readings for the next week and who they are. Today's reading is from Matthew chapter 26. All of them are from Matthew, by the way. Obscure, little, quiet, in the background people that if you were just reading through the Bible, you really would not notice them very clearly. And after you were done and saw the great story, you would not remember who they were unless somebody pointed it out, which is my job to point it out. So you see all those little tiny people. We are reading verses 6 through 13 tonight. While Jesus was in Bethany, in the home of a man known as Simon the leper, a woman came to him with an alabaster jar of very expensive perfume, which she poured on his head as he was reclining at the table. When the disciples saw this, they were indignant. "Why this waste?" they asked. "This perfume could have been sold at a high price and the money given to the poor." Aware of this, Jesus said to them, "Why are you bothering this woman? She has done a beautiful thing to me. The poor you will always have with you, but you will not always have me. When she poured this perfume on my body, she did it to prepare me for burial. I tell you the truth. Wherever the gospel is preached throughout the world, what she has done will also be told in memory of her." The thing that we're focusing on for our sermon title today is the alabaster jar. I found a picture of a jar. Who knows exactly what it looked like? It might have been a square box. Alabaster is a fragile material that will hold liquid in it. It's kind of like porcelain, but usually much more ornate than that. This story is the alabaster jar, and the woman behind it is the quiet one. There is a primary agenda that happens in this story. It is a story told with an amazing amount of detail that is not told in any other gospel or in this particular way. What Matthew does as he is preparing for the greatest story ever told, the crucifixion and the resurrection of Jesus at Easter time, he sets the scene very carefully, and he puts this event in Bethany. In John's Gospel, in Bethsaida, also known as Bethany, it's just over the hill to the east from the Mount of Olives, where Jesus prayed and was led into the city for execution. Bethany, or Bethsaida, is just east of that, over the hill. You cannot see Jerusalem from this town. It is where Mary and Martha and Lazarus lived. Jesus was called to Bethany to assist Mary and Martha with their sick brother Lazarus, but Jesus hesitated. He waited a bit until Lazarus was dead, and not only dead, but good and dead. Well, I don't know if he was good, but he was certainly dead. And then Jesus came and raised him, or resuscitated him, back to human life. He had to die again, a human death, because he was not resurrected, he was resuscitated, to show that the Lord has authority over death itself. This story in Matthew, he does not report what happened to Lazarus, but he reports this other interesting story, and he gives a number of details. It is in the home of a man known as Simon the leper. We have no idea who Simon the leper was. We don't read about him anywhere else. There is another disciple named Simon, not Simon Peter, but Simon, son of Alphaeus, or Simon Alphaeus' son. Sounds Scandinavian. He might have been Simon the leper. He may have had leprosy and Jesus healed him. He might have had leprosy and still had it. It might have just been a nickname, as he kind of rubs off on you, you know. Okay. Tough crowd. This is in the home of Simon the leper. It was very, very common in that day that men would eat together. Women and children were not permitted in the dining room. I know that you don't like that, but that's the way it was. Men reclined at the table. They did not sit in chairs the way we have. Tables would have been either a stone area on the floor slightly raised, or perhaps a wooden table. And then the men laid on cushions with their feet away from the table and their head and their shoulders toward the table, laying down in order to eat. So his feet would have been away. The story, as Matthew describes it, is a woman. She does not have her name reported. It's unlikely that this was Mary or Martha, that these were insiders, that this was a person who was a part of the horde of disciples around Jesus. We don't know where she came from. We don't know where she goes. We don't know anything really about her at all. One of the Gospels reports that she was a prostitute and that she had gathered this ointment as part of her trade. But Matthew doesn't report it that way. He simply says, this woman came in with an alabaster jar of very expensive perfume and poured it on his head. One of the other Gospels says she also poured it on his feet and wiped his feet with her hair. An alabaster jar of perfume would have been incredibly expensive. Amazing. It could have been a year's wages for this woman. This may have actually been part of her trade. If she was, in fact, a prostitute, she would have used ointments and spices and things to create her private environment for men. We don't really know. But it's highly unusual for anyone to have an alabaster jar full of perfume, and she poured it on his head while he was reclining at the table. And we know that there were a number of other men who were insiders. They were individuals who were close to Jesus, had been hearing him teach for 2 years. This is the next to the last night before the crucifixion. On the last night, they have Passover. From this event, they're going out to get all the elements together and have the Jesus and the 12 gathered together for their Passover meal. From there, he would be led into the trial and the execution, all those great events. So this is 24 hours in advance of that. The men have no clue what's going on, at least it seems. But whatever this woman knew about Jesus, she was a part of the story. Now, what's amazing about that is that as she pours the perfume on him, he says this is part of the burial preparation process. But this is a quiet woman. She doesn't announce her agenda. She does not say why she did this. We have no idea what her intent was, whether she was trying to provide some pleasure for Jesus, who would have been a tired traveler. She may have been trying to get him to take interest in her. She may have had some kind of compassion. She may have just been along the side of the street and saw all these men. We have no idea. She never says, other than her action. She takes something of incredible value and pours it on Jesus. What Matthew does, however, including himself, by the way, is describes a secondary agenda that is going on at the same time. This woman comes in. She's not invited, apparently. She certainly is not sitting at the table. She is not a guest eating the meal with these men. We don't know if Simon the leper was one of the 12, one of the 72, or just some random guy that Jesus happened to know who lived down the street from Mary and Martha and Lazarus and was a hospitable guy. We don't know. We don't know if he was trying to earn brownie points with Jesus, if he was trying to influence the 12, if he was trying to get inside information about what was going on. We don't know if he was an innkeeper, because pilgrims were coming in for Passover and he was opening his home to travelers. We don't know. But what's fascinating about the story is what happens when these insiders, the people who knew the story, saw the miracles, tried to walk on the water, cast out demons, healed the sick, preached the gospel, when those individuals observed this woman, uninvited, perhaps unannounced, come in and do this odd act. Matthew says they were indignant. Now, one of the things that I do for you is I study in original languages what the Bible actually said in its original. And of all the words in this entire story, only one stands out as an unusual word choice by Matthew writing this particular story. It is the word translated indignant. It is from aganakteo, not a word you're likely to use, not a word anybody in ancient Greece was likely to use. Aganakteo means to be vexed, to be furious, to be enraged. It is a phenomenally powerful word. These disciples who have heard about grace and mercy, peace, the good news of God coming to a troubled world, taking care of the poor, loving your neighbor as yourself, all these wonderful, effusive teachings of Jesus that poured out of his mouth and spilled all over the ground and let them know how much they were loved themselves. They see this woman walk in with a bottle of expensive perfume, pour it on their master's head, and their reaction is they're vexed. They're furious. They're enraged by this action. Why in the world would they respond that way? This is one of the reasons, one of the many reasons why I believe the Bible is true. No other holy book takes its heroes and shows them consistently to be idiots. These disciples These men, Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water, not real successfully, when Jesus called him to do it. When Jesus took Peter, James, and John up on the mountain to meet Elijah and Moses, the other 9 disciples were casting out demons, healing the sick, preaching good news. They broke bread for 5,000 people from their own hands and gathered 12 baskets full. And this is their reaction 24 hours before the events of the crucifixion. How far off can these guys be? And yet the Bible reports this is how they responded to this woman coming in with a gift. A gift not only of the perfume, but a gift of her act. Was she off in doing so? Was she plying her trade? Was she doing the only thing she knew how to do? We don't know. It may have been about the perfume, but my suspicion is probably about the woman. They didn't feel she had any right to be there. And instead of condemning someone, what Jesus consistently says, I didn't come to the world to condemn the world. My job here is not to create judgment and to destroy. It is to heal. Thieves come in to destroy. I came in because I'm the shepherd. Together in John chapter 12, there's an odd verse. Jesus says, even those who hear my word and do not do it, I do not judge them. It's an amazing statement. I did not come to condemn. I did not come to tempt. I did not come to threaten. I did not come to kill. I came to give life. And these men turn it into the value of the perfume and the poor. I mean, come on. The poor, they're so curious about how they're going to help the poor that they want to take this woman's perfume away from her, sell it on the open market down at the Agora, take the money and donate it to poor people somewhere. Where does that come from? It's almost like they're trying to kind of gather their wits when Jesus sees their reaction and says to them, I'm calling you on why you react the way you do about a woman who's doing this action. So then we end up with this amazing story. This woman is a model, not a catwalk model. She's a type. She's the kind of person held up by Matthew as a storyteller, but also by Jesus as the Lord and Savior. As a person who takes her situation and does something with it. She did something. She tried something, quote, out of the box, the alabaster box. She made a difference, not the difference, but she made a difference. Jesus asked them point blank a very interesting expression. In Greek, the best way of saying it is, why are you strategizing trouble? Why are you inventing trouble on this woman? I think New International says, why are you bringing trouble? Bothering this woman. Why are you bothering this woman? The expression in Greek is very interesting. They are fabricating trouble for her. Why are you doing that? Now, what Jesus does is he does not give us a Lenten command. Go through all the stuff you own, find the most expensive part that represents your trade, your tools, your truck, your sewing machine, your school teaching supply. He doesn't say go through all your stuff, find the most expensive thing, then come and donate that to church, and you will be like the woman with the alabaster jar. This is not a commandment. It is simply evidence of a changed woman. She is a type of an individual who has somehow encountered Jesus, and we don't know her story. We don't know what happened to her. We don't know why she did what she did, only that we see that she did it. Jesus says, She did this to prepare me for burial. We don't need to prepare him for burial. We don't need to replicate this particular act. But we see something in this woman that is worth learning about. She comes and brings this to Jesus because of her own motivation. Jesus says, this is a part of a bigger picture. This is part of something that is happening for the entire world. And this woman is a part of that story. Did she know that? Did she know that she was going to have her story told wherever the gospel was preached? I don't think so. Would she